The deadlift in its simplest form is picking an object off the floor to the hips. In the sports and weightlifting world, a deadlift is a bar loaded with weighted plates on either side, to be lifted from the ground to the hips. This, to many, is the defining way to test who's the strongest person within competition.
Coaching the deadlift. The following presentation is designed to inform you of the necessities of correct procedure and performance when doing the deadlift. Why must we use correct form when executing the deadlift? This will focus on the development of the deadlift exercise and will outline the bad procedure of the lift and why it is imperative to avoid. The main purpose of good form is reducing the risk of injury. By using multiple muscle groups, the quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, abdominals, erector spinae, latissimus dorsi and adductors, the stress is divided amongst these groups when using the correct form. This creates less of a chance of straining one individual muscle group. The deadlift is a coordinated effort and a large amount of stress is placed on the musculoskeletal system. This stress forces adaptation and promotes the development of safer motor patterns.
Moving on, from a coach's point of view, the do's and don'ts to tell your athlete. The do's and don'ts can be a critical time for your athlete as to avoid as much injury as possible to progress to the next stage in heavier weights. The do's and don'ts of the deadlift can be pretty straightforward. We'll start with the don'ts first, as this can be the most critical. Don't round the spine. Don't allow the shoulders to roll forward when releasing the weight. Don't lift your toes or go onto your heels. Feet need to be flat on the ground at all times. Always be looking up with a straight back, lifting from the floor with bent knees. Never reach for the bar, as this can put you off balance and overextend your back. To avoid further injury, the do's can be as important as the don'ts. Always keep your back straight, looking up, feet grounded. Never lift too much off the ground. Keep the bar as close to your body as possible. This way, you won't come off balance or reach or extend. The conventional deadlifts place more emphasis on the back and spinal erectors posterior chain. If you have a very strong lower back, there is a good chance that you will be able to deadlift more using a conventional stance. Body structure will also come into play. The sumo deadlifts take on a wider stance, putting the emphasis of the balance to the middle of the body. With a strong core, this can give you explosive power to deadlift. The sumo deadlift shifts some of the emphasis to the glutes, hamstrings, quads, hips and upper traps. If you are experiencing lower back issues or have a history of lower back problems, sumo deadlifts may be a better option. Not as a popular deadlift of the other two, the Romanian deadlift puts more emphasis on the glutes and hamstrings. This is also like a straight leg deadlift, but with a little bit of a variation. From the base of the lift to the top, I explode up with a straight back, head forward, feet shoulder width apart, and engaging the core. The second deadlift is the sumo deadlift. There's a little variation of technique with the legs slightly further than shoulder width apart with the hands in the middle. I can explode a little bit quicker off the ground towards the hips, keeping the back straight and the legs bent. The Romanian deadlift is a little variation. This is also like the straight-legged deadlift with a little bend in the knees. This focuses more on the hamstrings and the glutes. I had to use a lighter weight for this as my form wasn't as correct and my balance was coming off as I couldn't bend my knees as much as I'd like. I tried for another option for a roll technique. This is used by Eddie Hall, one of the strongest men in the world and also a deadlift record holder. I think this will take a little bit more practice as the roll is coming towards me and will take me off balance. I could feel the explosive power a little bit more, but I think correct form will have to be needed.
In this next section, using the videos that we have recorded, we're going to be taking a closer look at the deadlift that we have coached and analysed, and we're going to point out any errors that may have occurred during the performance, and also highlight any procedures that we found to be correct. The first correct procedure to point out here is that the feet are shoulder width apart in both pictures. Next, we take a look at the head as it is kept in a neutral position and is aligned with the back. This helps us to keep our back straight when performing the deadlift. The core during the deadlift is strong and the shoulders stay straight. Also, the chest is pushed out at this point.
Sorry, right, ready, go on.
As shown in both pictures here, the back is kept straight when performing the deadlift. This will help prevent injuries when executing. You'll notice on the left hand picture the knees are bent down to a correct 90-degree angle. Just a quick mistake to point out here is that at full extension the weight around the feet is not evenly distributed. As you can see, the heel lift off the ground. The feet should be flat. In this next section we compare our form to that of an athlete. We are using Eddie Hall, professional strongman and world record deadlift holder, as a comparison.
As you can see in the comparison between me and Eddie Hall, I use perfect form with my back straight. His seems to be a bit curved. The legs are about the same and the grip's the same. His shoulders are obviously a little bit wider than mine, but they're both shoulder width apart. When it comes to deadlifts, I think Eddie Hall definitely has me on this one, but over time I think his lower back is going to suffer from it. In the two comparisons here, both our heads are looking forward, our grips are the same, legs are the same, shoulder width apart, back straight, chest out. He's drooping a little bit, but I think that's because of the weight. Thanks for watching our coaching a deadlift from Mike Norman, Aidan Cook, Courtney Cowgill, Calum Greenwood. Hope it's helped and I hope your deadlift game gets stronger. Thank you.